come on out, have a little conversation with them, talk a little bit about some high points in their career. They'll make my pleasure to turn over to you and your questions. So I just do a line on it here. Just please remember the three guidelines. One is the amount of questions that you get. You're welcome to go back in the line. You want to do another one. Please don't be slick and try to do a multi-part question by adding and to it over and over again. Because then I gotta stop being a host and I'll have to become moderator. Much rather be your host. Two, by all means, feel free to ask a question, but please don't make a request. Don't ask for hugs or put your camera up and give a shout out to my Star Wars fan website, stuff like that, and all that fun stuff. And today we're just gonna have some fun. So, y'all ready for this? Please welcome to the stage. She's an actress, producer, and patriot whose body of work includes High Fidelity, Pacific Rim Rising, and Star Wars. Please welcome Ivanna Sakhno!
Oh, yeah. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Do you think it's loud enough for people to hear?
And we can probably choose if you get it a little closer. How's that?
Hello, can you hear us?
Oh, they can hear
Hi,
us.
guys.
All right, so. Hi, welcome to Ocala.
Thank you.
Welcome to Florida. Have you been to Florida before?
Yeah, it's my first time in Florida.
Oh, wow.
Very delighted to be here. Thank you guys so much for being so welcoming.
You picked an untraditional first-time spot for Florida. We appreciate that.
You love horses.
Yes,
I do appreciate it. I haven't seen any horses just yet. I've seen pictures of horses, portraits of horses, but no actual physical horses, live horses.
There's a lot of horsey imagery in the hotel, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what I'd like to do is just got a couple questions of my own, and whenever I have a solo guest like yourself, my first thing is I always ask about their chosen crafts. So what drew you to wanting to become an actress?
I grew up in Ukraine, and I started doing acting quite early on. I was studying painting and sculpting for a while, for quite a few years, and when I started doing acting in Ukraine, I quite quickly realized that I wanted to explore the world of cinema outside of my own country, and I started dreaming up of learning English, and so I started making little salaries from the jobs that I was doing in Ukraine. And when I was 13, I was able to leave and go to Canada. And long story short, I met a wonderful group of casting directors who are now, they're now retired and living their best lives, so they became the reason why I'm here.
So you studied English to basically increase the chances of roles?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I knew that in order to be part of the foreign films, I would need to learn English. Yeah.
Okay. But it's one thing to learn English, but something else to have to transpose that into acting. What were some of those early challenges like for you?
The challenges of within the language itself.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty lucky that being 13 and being just dipped into the environment in an English-speaking country is, I guess, the most imperative part. Watching a lot of films as well, and I think more than just the language, it comes from learning about yourself and understanding yourself throughout your lifetime as much as possible, and then I guess applying the language that you speak to that understanding. Makes sense.
Yeah, and we as Americans, we tend to forget how prolific our television is exported throughout the world, especially Europe. Most British actors will ask, how do you do an American accent so well? It's like, I grew up watching Dallas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Literally, a lot of British actors will say Dallas was the #1 show in the UK in the 80s and 90s. And yeah, it was good bullshit. That's what I'm being American. So done a lot of fine work, but I think people really want to hear a little bit about Star Wars. So when did that flip on the radar, and how did that come about?
I got an audition for I didn't know anything about it. It was just like down these sites. Basically, just a scene written for the audition, and it had a description of the character in it, like roughly what she would be. And once I auditioned for it, and kind of like pretty quickly found out that for Star Wars, I was transformed into so just to get all of Dave and John. So graciously um, share his time with me and share the project. Really, as much as I could. And of course, it's like a privilege and a lifetime to be able to do more of that. So, yeah, just
Yeah, but there's the secrecy of all of those.
just it was very interesting enough that it's David John, I think, especially because John comes from the world of acting and he knows the experience of auditioning for something or maybe he wants to leave with their intention and like it's not like Tasha encouraging process. So I did one audition and doing well. I said to take the next time I did it. I was talking to David John and accepting.
Floating is always thought to be very sexual. People say it like that. When he sees it, he's like, yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. And both David John and Mary, they were their part and they're able to witness their experience.
There's lots of Star Wars shows. This one I particularly resonated because the first one, amazing cast. He works so fantastic. Of course, I love her. Sorry about it. That was nice. I adore her. She's a hundred. I love you too. And of course, so I did like this too. This was great. And I think that's great stuff. So I've never heard about this. Wonderful.
It's good in honor of my life and what people pray and getting to know his mind and being like I can't believe the luck having a sea partner like that is just larger than life and I owe everything I am as shit and not to take it right this person getting to share this space together is I think what makes it great and interesting is nice both of them valuable.
Rosario was the title character. Like you guys.
Can you hear us? Oh yeah.
How do you that one? Rosario was the title character, but you guys kind of grab a lot of interest in everyone's heart, so it's not easy to outshine that. And of course, the first live action version that will fun a character we've been waiting for decades.
And Lars Wilson.
Yes.
So
Yes, absolutely. So now I know there's a lot of green screen, blue screen stuff going on in that. What was the craziest day you had on the Star Wars set?
no, actually, there was a lot of blue and green screen, but not too much. It was the first time experiencing working on the volume, which is like a 3D rendered environment that like moves along with the movement of the camera. So it felt like we were dipped into that world, especially when we were in the ship. It was Shin's ship. That was a Shin's ship. And see the background of where it was. Most of your questions.
One day that just made you go, wow, we had to go to that.
Honestly, every single place that I really cherish is I'm not enjoying my state of brain. I'm constantly by taking everybody in their this was the idea of the fundamental I think so many people despite with sleep really mental health stuff. They feel like it was something that mental advice that I now carry in all times. He sort of became kind of like a force ghost in my life. His presence on screen played itself into our relationship, friendship, and life. And he became like a master of a fatherly figure, and I think that he leave me to this day. So that's a very long-winded answer. It's very difficult not to.
No, it's all good. And I think for myself, the interesting thing about Star Wars, how it's presented now, it's non-linear. So I hope we can see your character in it. Yes.
Thank you. I love her a lot.
As we all did. You have something on the horizon. I'm not going to ask you big details, but a sequel to Make It 2.0.
Yeah, I actually flew in from New Zealand this morning. I arrived from the plane to this convention. So it's very delighted to be here. But yeah, here.
New Zealand. Okay, that's why you told me how. Okay, yeah, New Zealand. That's a long one.
Yeah, that's how we found it.
Well, the first one's fun, so hopefully we can do this again after it comes on out, and we can hear some recounts of this, because yeah, the first one was, it came in at the right time, and horror needed a little kick in the butt, so really excited for that.
Thank you. I am excited for you guys to see it. It's been really fun to make that. So it's
No, absolutely. And you've said it in several interviews how you're a proponent of the Ukraine and the situation going on right now. Let me just ask you this. What would we as Americans, is there something that we should know that maybe we're not informed of or something like that about what's going on right now, from your perspective?
Thank you so much for asking that question. I think that, to be honest, there is an abundance of information on the internet. I think it's rather than knowing something additional, it's remembering that the war is still ongoing, and each day we need the world's support more and more. It's vital to us because it doesn't get easier, and people continue to lose their homes and their lives, and children don't get to have a childhood. My father has been in and out of front lines volunteering and bringing aid for the past, what feels like forever, to be honest, since the beginning of this invasion. And it's just the reality of people living. Being aware of it and advocating for it, if you feel called to it, means the world to us. I can't tell you guys how invaluable just your awareness of what is going on is, and advocating it with each other. And hopefully, helping with aid is something that brings us closer to victory. And victory just means having our land back and having freedom.
Thanks so very much for that, and thank you all for your talents and professionalism, and the performances you brought to not just to Star Wars, but to all the work you've done in any language. You've really had you've been very several wonderful projects. It's an absolute pleasure to see your work, and I'm so looking forward to what you're bringing to the table next.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys have been just a dream to meet. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we got some audience questions, so I'm going to go out and take some of them.
Oh wow. Oh.
First question is 2 pieces.
Can I have a candy piece, okay?
Nelson. Hey, what's your name?
Chad,
Hello.
Oh, yeah. What's your name?
how many hours a day you have to train to do all the fight choreography?
Prior to filming, if I can recall correctly, it would be around 4 hours a day, 4 to 5. It includes some training and also physical training, like just to become strong enough in order to portray the characters.
Let's see.
Does it have a question?
I think that's on the Disney movies film. Making sure you don't see it.
Yeah, and there's a Darth Vader just behind you.
Hey, what's your name?
I do.
You mentioned the sound. What was your favorite season of Ahsoka?
Oh my god. Saying goodbye to Vader. I felt like an internal moment, and I only now realize what I did.
You're red one. That's all. You had a green one. Yes.
Hey! I see.
Hey, what's your name?
I,
Why do you think it's
I think she questions them a lot because she doesn't know what they stand for, like the ground that they stand on. They have access to the Force in their own way, which is unknown to her, and what she, because of the side that she's leading towards, I think, her questioning comes off as judgment. Thank you.
Oh boy.
Sorry for the voice.
Where do I swipe? We all know you are, but what's your question?
If you over the past 50 years could go back and portray any other Star Wars character as good as Rey, who would you swap over?
Wait. Sorry, ask again.
If you could swap roles with any other actress in Star Wars history and portray that character instead, who would you swap with?
That's a fun question. It's so difficult for me because Shin is my everything. What I think weirdly, okay, Princess Leia came to mind. So there's that.
You know, I want the blue one. Hi. Small.
Hi! That's awesome.
What's he got? Okay,
Yes.
Alright, I'm going to take my next question, and I'm going to replace it. Have you found yourself in possession of anything from any production that you've worked on?
Yes, I have happened to find myself in that position. I have suddenly found myself grabbing little things from set that I'm not supposed to grab. Many different little things. I have a little collection. Yeah, I mean, there's well, I have little things, I mean, literally little rocks and leaves from set. I have quite a few leaves from the forest fight I have little rocks from when you see Shin and Bailey were born in like the first episode of walking around. I have Shin's first skirt, which was just like when we were like pondering on the material and texture. They gave it to me to try it on and then try to rehearse in it, and I just happened to not return it. So there's a few items. Huh? Next question. Hi.
Hi, I was wondering, besides sci-fi,
Oh, if, besides sci-fi, I would actually really love to explore comedy, and I would love to do a romantic comedy. It's something that is so lighthearted, and I think would be fun to make. So I would love to explore that.
What's your
Out of all the original movies, which is your favorite?
Empire Strikes.
what's your favorite?
Attack of the Clones.
Ooh, nice.
No, that's a bold move. That's my favorite of the prequels, actually. So, Hi, what's your name?
Ben. So in Ahsoka season 1, it seems that Aelin has a bit of like hatred towards Anakin. Why is that?
You would have to ask him. Truthfully speaking, I don't think I have the agency to speak on his journey. But I look forward to you discovering, hopefully, one day why that is.
American Felonian.
Yeah. Thanks.
Remember, they're actors and actresses, okay? You read what's on the
But it's a good question, though. I appreciate it.
Hey, what's your name?
Brandon,
Uh,
how did it feel first donning the robes?
sorry, let's again.
How did it feel first donning the robes you wore for the show?
Wearing a costume. What do you feel like wearing a costume?
Oh, the costume,
robes.
yes. It was amazing, actually. I mean, there were quite a few layers. So we have the top layer, which is the skirt, and then the vest, and the cloak, and underneath it, I have pants and
Well, look
another.
at our costume. Come on.
Oh, great! You have a shirt here. Hi!
Come on.
Oh, you look amazing. That's awesome. So yeah, as you can see.
So I'm gonna bring her up on the stage and you can slide. So come on, let's go. You'll be the model. There you go. Come on, everybody say hello to Danielle, our cosplay model. Let's get started. All right. So Danielle, this is great. All that stuff you do. So from my perspective, this is a really good accurate one. This is
It is a very good costume. So, as you can see, we have the top layer, and then underneath it, I would have also some pants. Yeah, very accurate, and also another shirt underneath this one. And underneath that, we would have like a little specs. Like a thin layer to keep us to keep the costume safe, obviously. And to answer your question, what it felt. It didn't feel too bad at all because our costume partners they really good in order to allow us be able to move and perform the stunts. So it just if anything, it just felt genuinely like an honor. You look awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Please, water.
oh yeah. Wait, that's something.
Hi. Oh, that was loud. Sorry.
Hey, what's your name? Ivanna.
What was the hardest scene to act? One second. The hardest one. I think the hardest one was the first one we filmed because everybody was so nervous and it was an explored world and just how knowing how much it meant to us to be part of it was I guess the challenging aspect. But it was we actually filmed the very first scene in the show on our very first day. So when you see Phelan and Shin coming onto the ship and slicing a few creatures, that was the hardest one because it was the first one. Thank you for your question.
Hi, what's your name?
Colton.
Hi.
My question is, I'm just wondering when and how you found out about the existence of Wolfram and what your impact first reactions to that was.
I found out it feels like forever ago. It's something that Natasha and I cherish quite a bit, and our reaction is just appreciation because we've noticed the connection between Shin and Sabine and the way that they have it, and the way that the audience allows for them to have it as well while filming. So the way that you guys treat them and receive them is something that we don't take for granted. And we think you guys are cool.
Great question. What's your name?
Manuel? So one of Shin's big motivations seems to be like power and getting more men and working with it. What's like the end goal there? Like being empress of everything or working for the top guy or what?
It's such a good question, and I couldn't possibly fully answer it for you. It's something that I have yet to fully discover alongside her, which I have full trust in Dave to lead me in the way that I'm supposed to do it. But I think Shin, at the moment, leads with the knowledge that she has and in the way that she's been, for lack of a better term, wired in her life. What she's surrounded by is very much her understanding of the world around her. But I think that there is a lot for her to discover. There's a lot for her to also, I believe, go through and understand herself for herself, not from what she's been taught. If it makes sense, this makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
Right.
Hi.
Right. So my question is, when you were analyzing the character of Shin, taking in her characteristics, was it ever any parts that you just came up on your own or was the same?
Definitely. I mean, I think that everything that she is kind of came along with creating her, and of course, she has very much the stare that she does. She blinks very little. I'm not gonna lie, there was like I kind of also built some of her parts of her characters around when she blinks. I don't know if that translates with the edit that came out in the TV show. When you look back at it, moments when she blinks is like quite pivotal and important for her. She's like a little creature, a little forest creature that I really adore. And she came along during the entire process of playing something showed up. Yeah. Can you tell that I had 3 hours of sleep? So then tell you a story. Oh my god, my favorite memory. Okay, it was my first American film, like studio film that I filmed. My favorite memory was actually the people that I worked with. I worked with some fantastic kids at the time, and as well as Katie Staney, who is now just killing it. You might have seen her in the new Alien movie, And I feel so proud of her because it was her first ever role in film. And just to see her journey has been like a great joy of mine. I loved the training aspect of it. We got to travel quite a bit through Australian China filming. Yeah, I was really nervous during that time. I didn't know necessarily what I was doing, and I just I cherished the relationship that I got to have with Amy. Thank you.
Hey, Matt. What's that this time? What was your reaction? What was your reaction when you first came to the lightsaber?
So sorry.
What was your reaction when you first got handed the lightsaber?
Oh wow! So it was in the training facility at the studio, and our props master called me and Sabine, Natasha, to come over to him and told us. I'm trying to like remember every detail, but basically we were told to close our eyes and extend our arm, extend our hand, and he placed our lightsabers in our hands, and then as we opened our eyes, we saw them at night for the first time. And I've spoken about it earlier before, but it did feel magical, and it felt like we truly in that moment became part of the universe. It's a gift that I'm sure that you know what it might feel like. It's just the greatest honor of my life.
So we talked about what we could about the McGann sequel. Is there anything else on the horizon you're allowed to talk about? Besides that, it's the last call, or whatever that is.
This is your last call, guys. Anything else on the horizon?
Yeah, anything else on the horizon, any projects you're allowed to share with us?
There's
Remember,
some
the
that
spy drone was
there's some that I'm not allowed to, but no, just I just wrapped yesterday, Megan, and also I'm about to go off and do a little passion project. It's an animated film. We're going to be doing motion capture and creation. I'm working with a friend of mine, Noah Centineo, an actor, and yeah, so we're going to be doing that next week.
Outstanding. And do you have any social media platforms we can follow you on?
Yes, I might not use them often, but I do have one. I do have Instagram,
Okay.
which is my personal thing.
That's the safe one.
Cool.
That's the safe one. So, well, thank you so much for joining us this time. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend with us, and do come back and see us.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Before we go though, we want to take a picture with our amazing guests and all of you. So